Global tensions are rising as U.S. President Donald Trump issues a stark warning to the NATO alliance. Trump says the military alliance could face a very bad future if member countries fail to help secure one of the world's most important energy routes, the Strait of Hormuz. The warning comes as rising conflict in the Middle East threatens global oil supplies and international security. The Strait of Hormuz is one of the most strategically important waterways on the planet. Roughly 20% of the world's oil supply passes through this narrow shipping lane every day. Any disruption here can send shockwaves through global energy markets and affect economies around the world. Since late February, tensions in the region have escalated after joint military strikes by the United States and Israel against Iran. In response, Iran has threatened shipping in the strait and warned vessels about entering the waterway. Several ships have already been damaged during the crisis, causing major disruptions to global energy transport. The result has been a sharp rise in oil prices and fears of a worldwide energy shortage. Amid the growing crisis, Trump is urging NATO allies to take a more active role in protecting shipping routes in the Persian Gulf. In an interview with the Financial Times, the U.S. president said that countries benefiting from oil shipments through the strait should help ensure its security. He warned that if allies refuse to support the mission, the consequences for NATO could be serious. According to Trump, failure to cooperate would be very bad for the future of NATO. The U.S. has asked several countries, including United Kingdom, France, Japan, and South Korea, to contribute naval forces or military support to secure the shipping lane. Trump argues that many of these countries rely heavily on oil transported through the Strait of Hormuz, making it a shared responsibility to keep the route open. However, the response from many U.S. allies has been cautious. Some countries are reluctant to send warships into an already volatile conflict zone. Nations including Japan and Australia have reportedly declined requests to deploy naval vessels to the region. European governments have also emphasized the importance of avoiding further escalation. Instead of direct military intervention, some countries are considering limited defensive operations or maritime escort missions to protect commercial vessels passing through the strait. At the same time, diplomatic discussions are underway among NATO members and regional partners about how best to stabilize the situation without triggering a wider war. Trump has also increased pressure on China, one of the world's largest importers of Middle Eastern oil. The U.S. president has suggested that Beijing should help secure the Strait of Hormuz because China benefits significantly from the oil transported through the waterway. Trump has even hinted that an upcoming meeting with Chinese President Xi Jinping could be delayed if China refuses to participate in securing the shipping route. However, analysts say China is unlikely to join a military coalition, especially given its economic and strategic ties with Iran. The ongoing crisis has already had major consequences for global markets. Oil prices have surged sharply since the conflict began, rising more than 40% in just a few weeks, as fears grow over possible disruptions to energy supplies. Energy analysts warn that a prolonged blockade of the Strait of Hormuz could trigger a global economic shock. For many countries, especially those heavily dependent on Middle Eastern oil, the stability of the shipping lane is critical. As tensions continue to rise in the Persian Gulf, the future of the Strait of Hormuz and the unity of the NATO alliance may soon face one of their biggest tests in decades. Whether allies step in to support the United States or choose a more cautious diplomatic approach could shape the next phase of this growing geopolitical crisis. For now, the world is watching closely as events unfold in one of the most important regions for global energy and security.